Chapter 3: Gods, Priests, and the War for Memory. Uruk no longer slept. Even at night, torchlight flickered along the streets, shadows stretching across mud-brick walls etched with symbols that had not existed a generation earlier. Clay tablets dried on wooden racks. Storehouses were sealed with marks pressed by human hands instead of priestly seals alone. Memory had escaped the temples. And the gods were no longer the sole keepers of truth. The priests felt it first. They had always ruled through ritual and remembrance, myths spoken aloud, laws passed by word of mouth, judgments shaped by whoever remembered best. Now the tablets remembered everything: numbers, promises, debts, failures. Writing did not forget. Writing did not forgive. In the inner sanctum of the Temple of Anu, the high priests gathered beneath a ceiling painted with stars. Incense burned thick enough to sting the eyes. "This king has gone too far," one priest whispered. "He traps divine will in clay," another hissed. "Soon the people will believe the tablet more than the gods." Silence followed. Then the high priest spoke. "Then we must control the tablets." The first censorship. The order came quietly. Certain tablets were to be kept only in the temple. Others were to be altered before public display. Some were to disappear entirely. Scribes were summoned and sworn to secrecy. Those who refused found their rations reduced, their families reassigned. A few vanished into the night. For the first time in history, knowledge was being restricted. Not burned, not destroyed, but hidden. Enmer noticed. Deliveries failed to match records. Labor tallies were altered. Temple accounts no longer aligned with public tablets. The city that had run like a measured machine began to stutter. Enmer summoned the chief scribe. "These numbers are wrong." The scribe's hands trembled. "They came from the temple." That was all he said. It was enough. The secret archive. Enmer understood something dangerous. If memory could be stolen once, it could be stolen again. So he did what no king before him had ever done. He created a place beyond priesthood. Beneath the administrative quarter of Uruk, a narrow passage was dug, unnoticed amid constant construction. Below it, chambers were carved into packed earth and lined with shelves of baked clay. This was not a temple, not a palace, it was an archive. Here, copies of every law, every ration, every treaty were stored. Some tablets bore seals only Enmer knew. Others were encoded with symbols meaningless to priests, but clear to trained scribes. Knowledge had learned to hide. The gods were questioned. The people began to notice something else. The gods were inconsistent. One tablet said a priest had declared a flood punishment for impiety. Another recorded similar floods decades earlier, when different rituals had been performed. Patterns emerged. Floods followed seasons, harvests followed labor, plagues followed rot and waste. The gods had not changed, understanding had. Whispers spread. "If the gods control everything," one farmer asked quietly, "why do the tablets predict more than the priests?" Such words would have once meant death. Now they meant curiosity. The priests struck back. The high temple declared a vision. The gods were angry. They demanded sacrifice, grain, animals, labor, all redirected through temple authority. The people hesitated. Enmer did not. He ordered the tablets brought forth, publicly. He read them aloud. Years of records, flood cycles, crop yields, labor contributions, evidence, carved, dated,
undeniable. "These are not insults to the gods," Enmer said to the crowd. "These are their patterns." The priests accused him of blasphemy. The people accused the priests of lies. That night, the temple of Anu burned. No one ever proved who lit the first torch. The price of power. Order was restored, but something precious was lost. Faith had cracked. The gods were still worshipped, but now they were studied. Enmer stood alone in the archive chambers long after the city slept. He ran his fingers across the tablets, feeling the grooves of the first words humanity had ever trusted. The voice returned, not angry, but distant. "You have freed memory. You cannot command what follows." Enmer understood. Writing had done more than build a city. It had changed the relationship between humans, gods, and truth. And once changed, it would never return. Uruk would not fall soon, but its ideas would spread faster than armies. To Akkad, to Babylon, to lands not yet named. The war for memory had begun, and it would shape every civilization to come.